Welcome everyone to another Teaching Tuesday with Wild Blessings. This is Holly. I'm Holly Drake, and we are going to have a Wild Foods Christmas dinner. And I'm just so happy to have you join me. And we have so many fun things to do. And you'll get to see where I foraged for things throughout the seasons and how I prepared for them. And now we're going to be cooking it into a wild food feast. So first I want to let you know I'm herbing around as always. And this time I'm taking time.
Well, okay, now you certainly have to introduce. Yeah, he's our guard dog.
He is a guard dog.
Somebody's
He's a
out
Jack
there.
Russell terrorist. This is Max. And
Do they not know who Max is?
Well,
I'm sure they know, but if you're new, you don't know. This is my little shadow, furry shadow. And anyway, so I'm de-leafing or de-herbing, making a mess the thyme because I'm going to use that on my chicken. I'm not doing a turkey today. We're going to do a chicken. And then I also have some sage that I'm going to break up into, so I can mix that into and massage it into the chicken. And I'm going to use ramp butter from last spring, which is frozen. So, hey, you want to help, Mom? Anyway, I want to introduce to you my special guest today, all the way from New York City. Jordan, come on over and say hi.
Hey,
So, hey,
I was on the show in around Thanksgiving.
that's true.
Yes, and you were also in our remote broadcast from Brooklyn.
That's right. We did. remote
That was
broadcast from
really
Brooklyn.
fun. I went foraging in New York City to see what there was to find, and it was really amazing. So it was fun. Okay, so today we have a, first of all, I want to welcome new members. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy foraging with me through the seasons, and we befriend plants and we cook together, and it's really been an exciting adventure. So glad that you joined me. But first I want to talk about the contest that we did, and we had a natural art contest on how to decorate for Christmas. And so Jordan is going to share with us. Oh, and then the other thing we did was a contest for Christmas inspiration. And I shared with you some of the things that have inspired me, like the Star of Bethlehem, that documentary, and I've given you the link to that to watch, to see what was in the night sky when Christ was born, which was pretty remarkable. And then we shared about the chosen Christmas special, and many of you shared some of your incredible traditions. And we will share who the winners are. Jordan will tell us at the end of today's class. So at the end. But first, he wants to share with you one of the our members and their rather memorable tradition that they do as a family every year. And so I'm not saying that she won. I'm just saying that I wanted to make sure you all got to hear this.
This is a tease for later. Right?
Yes, a tease.
So Max, can you read that out loud? He says no. Okay. This is from Karon Henick. I'm gonna do a little Casey Kasem, and she writes, "Our Christmas." Dad likes that. Our Christmas tradition may not be as inspirational as those mentioned above, but here goes. During the year, our family makes swords from their empty wrapping paper rolls. Each family's swords are secret until Christmas Eve. We have a big shrimp boil, then gear up for the first of 2 sword fights. They wield their swords in the dark of night with lights strapped on their hats so they can run through the woods in the moonlight. I line the edge of one of my paths with lights so they can see to be on the paths while making fast escapes during the sword fight. Some of them make armor. Sometimes there's a big jail box. There's always a lot of excitement and laughs. If any of the swords are left, we have one last encounter after Christmas dinner before everyone goes home. So if anyone happens to be in Northeast Arkansas on Christmas Eve, bring your sword and join in.
Don't you wish you'd grown up in that family?
I'm pretty happy with the family that I grew up in, but I think that's an admirable, exciting, and joyous Christmas tradition.
Out of the box.
I can get behind that one. Are you trying to take a picture? Do you want my phone?
Yeah, take a picture of the 3 of us. Me and my 2 boys. 2 of my boys.
2 of the boys.
2 of the boys.
How are you?
Yeah, so I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. We've got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, we're going to make hickory bark tea for our wild tea demonstration. And then what else are we doing? Oh, you're going to show us how to make what?
We're making thumbprint cookies.
Thumbprint cookies.
With various jams, jellies, and concoctions.
Well, let's look at them right now. So which one is this one?
Ooh, you said it, and I can't remember. It's something to do with weed and fire. Is it earth,
Fireweed.
wind, and fire jelly?
This is fireweed.
Yeah.
This is fireweed.
What
And
is
this,
fireweed?
you know what? I have no idea. Deanna Scott gave this to me at a
Do you want to frame
event
up
that we
so my
did.
head's not cut off?
Okay.
Okay. I'm
All right.
told now.
So you're just too tall. All right. So fireweed was a gift, and fireweed is actually up in Minnesota is such an invasive that it's being tried. They're trying to eradicate it,
Oh my goodness.
but it's edible.
It is edible, and you made a jam out of it. Is there a berry or a
Here,
fruit
you wanna
that's
try
made
it?
from? I should
Here.
try it. Yeah. Okay.
See what you think of it.
Now, again, for context, these are jams that we're going to be putting inside the cookies.
Oh
later.
yes, absolutely. They're all
Yeah.
wild jams, but I did not make this one.
Trying to get a little piece going here. Sort of strawberry-ish.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit of a strawberry vibe.
Well,
That's very good,
the flower is very purple and beautiful.
Okay.
All right. So then this next one is wild grape.
Wild grape. We'll be cooking these later, so I'm going to double dip with this fork. It's grape.
It's grape. Is it
That's
grape?
really good. No,
It's really good. Okay.
This is your this is a 279 Deer Crossing staple.
It is.
It's the blackberry jelly.
I remember when you were 14, you were listening to Harry Potter on your iPod, and you were foraging with me for blackberries.
Sure. Mm.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you were crying because somebody had just died.
Well, allegedly. Anyway, I remember very
In the
vividly
book.
the book. They were crying in the book. I was taking it real well. I have a very strong memory of picking blackberries with our older dog Skipper. And you might recall he liked the blackberries quite a bit, and he ate so many that he got sick of them and never touched them again. You remember
Yeah, I remember. And he would take his little licorice lips and that long snoot, and he
He
would
was a collie.
go in and grab
That's right.
the fruit.
He was picking them off the vine. He got so into them, he was picking them off the vine with his mouth.
Because he didn't want to get pricked by the prickles. I mean, that's a really good memory.
Yeah, it's a great memory.
Yeah.
Now this last one here is pokeberry.
It's poisonous.
She loves to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
It's good. You know, I think the secret ingredient in all of these is the copious amounts of sugar that goes into making jams and jellies.
That's true. That's
But
true.
I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Okay.
Now let me ask you some questions here.
Okay, well, let me
because-
just say something about the poison.
but
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm
everyone
not gonna
freaks
die,
out.
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, you will be fine. It's not the berry that's poisonous, it's the seed.
Mm.
So when you eat the berry, you can just poop out the seed, or you can spit out the seed, but you don't want
to say that.
you don't want to chew on the seed. But when you make the berries, when you make the jam, you just simply don't use the seeds. Does that make
Got it.
sense?
Don't use the seeds. They're
Yeah.
poisonous.
Yeah. All right. So Jason, come on over here and show us how that you separate eggs.
Let's take a step back because you'll recall it's a little hard to see here on the camera. So I just want to lay out the ingredients we've got here.
Okay.
You pre-made these cookies, yes?
I did.
What are the ingredients here? What kind of cookie recipe? Is it like a sugar cookie recipe?
Oh, it's going to be posted in Patreon.
Hey, post it on Patreon. So if you're supporting on Patreon, you get the recipe to this magic ingredient here. We're going to involve an egg, which we're going to dip the dough in, and then we're going to roll the dough.
No, we're dipping the egg in the egg white.
I'm sorry, we're going to dip the dough in the egg white.
Right.
Egg white or the egg yolk?
White.
Egg white.
The egg white.
And then we're going to roll them in. What is this?
This is hickory nuts.
Hickory nuts.
And so the hickory
What
nuts.
do hickory nuts taste like?
Well, oh, they're so good. Okay, so actually these are my favorite nut. They're even better than pecans. And we have a hickory
are good.
grove
Yeah,
right
those are
here.
sweet.
And the shagbark hickory is what we're going to have for
very
our tea.
pecan. I mean, this is like a pecan. This
Yeah,
is
well,
definitely a pecan.
it's in the same family.
Taste alike, yeah.
All right, but this is the outer husk, and this is the inner shell. And so we've been
Wait, that's
having
not even the nut. There's some.
no, the nuts inside, which looks like that.
Does that mean you have to collect a lot of those to get this amount?
It's a lot of work.
Got it.
Yeah. So I had Jason do it.
Okay. Well, whenever there's a lot of work to be done.
I guess I figured out what I'm
so
good for.
I'm going to step aside. And
Okay, let me just get the
All right. So I want to just, well, why don't you tell what Dad does with eggs?
Well, Dad can
So
tell
Dad's
us
always
that.
playing around with eggs.
I am playing around with eggs because, like Michelangelo, like Leonardo da Vinci, I
Mhm.
paint with eggs.
He
They
does.
did too. They learned to paint with eggs,
Mhm.
but I only paint with the egg yolk. So I want to show you how I crack eggs every day. And
Okay, watch him
separate-
blow it.
We're- Thank you. Thank you. That vote of confidence just wells up inside of me. I'm going to separate the egg yolk and the white so she can have the whites. So once I pry it apart gently, And I let the egg yolk, the entire egg, fall inside here. Now I'm going to.
What is your favorite way?
I've got to wet my fingers. Just a minute.
Oh, okay. The key is to wet your fingers.
The key is to have wet fingers, and you just reach in and you pull out, and then you let the white drop out. You see how it dropped out there? And now I just have the yolk in my hands, and I let go of that. Now she has just the bowl of whites. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Come on back, Jordan. Let's get these
So
cooking.
we have just the bowl of the egg whites.
Yeah, but where's the little black tray?
Right there. Okay, so I should bring that over, I guess.
Yeah.
Little cooking
Let me
tray.
move this out of the way.
Okay, so this is a two-step process, right? You're going to, let's see, can we move these out of the way? Do these need to be?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. So we're going to take her. Are we just going to roll all the way around, Mom? Just like get a little bath? Like this?
And Mom needs to stay there. So she,
Yep.
Yeah, I'll stand right
Oh,
next
right.
to
We
you.
got that. Okay, so we roll this in the dough, and then I just go in, straight in?
Yep.
Okay. Nice heavy coating. Do we need to grease this pan or no?
You know, I don't remember,
Okay.
but let's just not.
And then that's a no.
Yeah.
Okay. Now are we supposed to tell stories about eggs while we do this? Have you ever egged a car or a house?
I don't think.
Oh my gosh, yes, I have.
See, I knew there'd be a story.
yeah.
I know the story you're gonna
Remember
tell.
that? We used to go to
I
the
wasn't there. I was 4, so you got it.
yeah, but she used to be in the wheelbarrow. So we'd go
Okay.
feed the goats at the 4-H farm.
Mhm.
And I'd put you in the wheelbarrow with all the hay, and then we would take it to the goats to feed the goats, and they'd all be lined up on the fence. It was just such a good memory. I should put a picture of that.
Let's provide some context. So our family participated in the 4-H organization back in California, and we did here in North Carolina as well. This would have been 1994. I was a little kid, and there was a petting zoo in Trabuco Canyon that was owned or operated or run by the 4-H organization. And we, being the good-hearted, nature-loving people that we are, volunteered to help feed the animals at said petting zoo. So we would go over once a week, twice a week. How many times did we go to feed the animals?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
They starved the rest
Now,
of the time.
the story, as I was told it, was that there were chickens there at said petting zoo that would lay eggs.
And ducks.
But we weren't eating the eggs for some reason. We were just collecting them. Why weren't we eating them? I don't remember. Either way, the story goes, we were driving back, and it was tradition to throw the eggs. I'm going to say this out loud and realize how scandalous this really was. It was tradition to throw the eggs at signs on the way back, right? We would roll down the windows of our little Honda, and we would throw eggs at the street signs. And the story that I was told was that it was always said that this was an accident. My guess is it really wasn't as much of an accident as much as we got caught. One of my errant brothers managed to not hit a sign with an egg, but managed to hit a Ferrari car. Is that true?
Yeah, let's not talk about this story.
I think the public deserves to know.
It's embarrassing.
So, and then the way the story goes is the driver of the car was to put it lightly, he was nonplussed, I think is the expression that you go for. And so he then proceeded to follow you all the way back home. For how long did this vehicle
Well, I
follow
didn't
you?
go home because I didn't want him to know where I lived.
Okay, but he followed you for how long before he gave up the chase?
You know what? This is just a memory I've blocked out of my mind.
I mean, there you go.
Okay.
Maybe I have too.
All right, this is plenty. So
That's
let's
all
go
we're
ahead.
doing?
Well, for now, because we just want to eat these, and then we can eat those later.
Okay, because
But-
I have more of a monologue, but okay. No, I'm kidding.
I want to stop this monologue as quickly as possible.
All the family secrets come out when Jordan goes on the show.
Okay, so let's see. I think that you're going to
5 minutes, right?
I think you should do the thumbprint now, or do we do it later?
Do it later. Wait,
Yeah.
after the, when the, wait,
Okay,
fresh
5
out.
minit's at 300
Oh,
degrees.
you know the Mom? I'm gonna keep this up again. 'Cause
Oh, it didn't turn on. Oh,
Turn
you have to
off.
push start.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's gonna take 4 minutes.
All right. Sorry. I wanted just to point out, let me bring over this gift. So the winners of the art contest and the Christmas inspiration contest, their gifts are in here. So it'll be really special. And I can't wait for Jordan to tell us who won.
Mhm.
All right. So before we get into cooking, I want to talk about decorating. And so, Jordan, can you come over here and help me
Oh,
for
I'm
just a
back,
minute?
okay.
Yeah, you're back. And Jace, we're going to go stand over here next to the Christmas tree. And
Oh, that's right. We're doing this.
yeah, so let me just show you briefly. I'm always foraging, and I came home this morning, and I was so excited because look at what I got. So are you on me now? All right. So look at these beautiful barberries. Now they have really, really horrible
This is a barberry.
thorns.
Oh, it's got
Do you see those thorns?
Yeah.
So I don't really think it would
This
be
is great
fun
for
to
keeping
touch.
your kids from touching the tree.
Well, whatever. Anyway, and then look at this beautiful goldenrod. So, okay, so we've got barberry and we have goldenrod. And so like basically here, if you could break off, just keep 5 of that stem and just drop the rest. We're making a glorious mess.
Mm.
Okay, so like just stick that in the tree somewhere.
Okay.
Perfect. And do the same thing with these guys.
Okay.
So I just think if you get rid of these dead, well, actually, if you don't, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you can, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
stick it
going to
on the
hide
tree.
itself in there.
Oh, there's a tree.
Whoa. Yikes. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay, and then I have some dried flowers from earlier. This is the same plant. It's actually a different species. There's over 200 species of Solidago, but look how
What's the
beautiful.
common name for this?
It's goldenrod.
Goldenrod.
Okay, so you could break that into 2 bunches and then
sure.
just kind of stand back. Don't step on that or you're going to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can use dried flowers that you've dried yourself. And honestly, I'm going to use this for tea after the Christmas tree's done because I love goldenrod punch. Okay.
What does that taste like?
Oh, it's so high in antioxidants and so good for, it's really good for allergies. So like if you've got ragweed or something or allergic reaction, the antidote to it is goldenrod.
Nice.
Okay, so then you can take, what else can we do? Oh, these are fun. So this is,
show this whole box here.
you want to lift it up?
If I can, I mean, it's quite a sight here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Look at all these. Look at all
Okay,
these
the gnome
flowers.
is in the way. But see, look at this. I've got berries. I have grass. I have, this is ironweed. Look at this beautiful evening primrose. Oh, don't you love that lotus seed pod?
It scares me a little bit.
And these are kind of like, these are catalpa swords. And these are seed pods.
Wow.
I don't really think those would look very good in here. But if you wanted them in there, you could. I don't know.
Now, how is this all picked from around here?
Of course. And then look at this.
Oh, hold on. I know what that is. That is. Oh, I know this.
You want to taste it?
No. That'll jog my memory right away. It's hold on. It's tell me.
Sumac.
Sumac.
Yeah, rush glabra. All right, so stick this in there somewhere.
All right, so sumac goes in. Let's do near the top, maybe.
No,
why
gotta
is
be
that?
really, because I put it on top of that
Oh, I see.
bucket. All right. So we're not going to actually decorate the whole tree right now, but we will.
Max, take a look at the tree.
Oh, sure. Let's.
We'll do this after class. Okay. Look at this beautiful. Look at this beautiful butterfly bush.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dried flower. This was purple back in the day, and so this will go in there somewhere.
There's no treats for you on the tree, though.
And you can also stick in, like when you do this, if you could cut these shorter and stick those in too.
Sure.
So you can use colors. So you can use beiges and yellows and reds. Oh, get this started. And look at this. We have reindeer moss. So we could stick some reindeer moss in there, probably to cover the lights would be a good thing to do. Look at that, Jordan. That looks so pretty. Oh, my word. Look at that next to there.
Oh,
Isn't that lovely? And then look at this, guys. I have just a few. What are these? Pine cones. So honestly, if I wanted to take the time, I could actually spray these a little bit white on the edges or paint them and make them, could you just put a couple of those in the tree? Make them look kind of like they've had snow on them. And don't knock over the tree. Let's see. Also, I made a whole bunch of ornaments, which, let's see if I can show an example. Here's one. Oh, there's the camera. I keep looking at the thing. All right, so here's an example. So I just glued with a hot glue gun. What do I have on there? I've got an iris seed pod. I have some yarrow that was dried, some moss. I've got some shells from Mary Lou Fodor. She always gives me shells. And then some wild grape, which is perfect. We'll go ahead and stick this one on because we have the wild grape jelly that Jordan's going to put in the cookies.
Did you set your timer? I actually did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's looking beautiful.
Okay, wait. Let's just highlight this again. So you took a piece of bark and then you glued these things on the piece of bark.
Yeah, that's all I did.
Like an ornament.
Yeah, and you can even just like glue it onto here.
Right. You'd have to use some sort of attaching mechanism.
Like
otherwise it would fall
I
off.
think the glue gun is right back behind there. So when you go to decorate this later, if you would
Mhm.
glue it onto that, I'd appreciate it. This is a grapevine wreath. And I also just took a little piece of the of ribbon and just kind of threw it on there just for color. What else can you put in there? Oh my gosh, you can do so much. I have lots of more ornaments up there, Jordan, that we can do later. This is interesting. This greenery that I found from a neighbor's bush can be stuck in here kind of to add a little bit of, what do you call it? Dimension to the tree.
Mhm.
So you can do that
Wow.
if you like it. And then look at this one. This here is yarrow seeds. And so look at how that would add a little bit of depth and dark, like a little bit of a background to have the colors just pop. So when we're done with it, we'll take some close-up pictures. Thank you, Jordan, for helping me.
Of course.
It's going to be so pretty. And anyway, we've got a huge dinner to make, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make it and put it together. But you won't be able to see it until next week when I can show you the pictures of the dinner we eat tonight. So let's go ahead and get started with I'm going to give you a sample of my, let's see, what do I have?
You got 2.5 minutes until the cookies are ready.
Okay, well, don't leave because I'm not going to deal with those. Okay, so let's all just try a little bit of wild grape kefir. And if you could go take this to Dad, I'd appreciate it.
Are we going to try and put seltzer in it?
No. I was going to do high bush cranberry seltzer, but I really didn't want, careful, you step on that and you'll know it. I didn't honestly want to have Jason tell me it smelled like dirty socks. Okay, so
That's good.
ready?
That's good. Yeah, it's good. It's like tastes like grape.
Yum.
Yeah,
All right.
That's good.
All right, so let's see.
You got 2 minutes for the cookies.
2 minutes for the cookies.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to let you move these things over there, and you
Do it in the
can.
background
Um,
while you're doing your.
I think so because I've got a lot to talk about
Okay,
here.
so as a reminder, we have poke, we have blackberry, we have
Wild grape,
wild grape, and we have fireweed.
fireweed. Yeah. All right. And we'll put this here. Okay. So pulling out of my freezer, which is kind of a wild freezer, I've got lots of autumn olive berries. I have a lot. Oh, this is not wild, but I do need it. What else do I have? This is, I have a whole freezer downstairs of these things as well, but this is milkweed flower buds. Yeah, I keep forgetting to look at that. This is milkweed flower buds, and they have they taste a little bit like broccoli, like peas. These are frozen, and so I blanched them first. And I'm going to let Jordan decide later which one he wants to use with our French green bean casserole, which won't have any green beans. It'll just have the French fried onions on top and the cream of mushroom soup inside. So we've got that, Jordan, you can use. Or we have the, these are the milkweed shoots. Early spring, before they get to be about 10 inches tall, and they're really flexible and meristematic and tender. That's when you want to catch the shoots to make pickles with, or to make into green beans or asparagus, depending on how you season it. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm going to be using some Japanese knotweed in my stuffing, and so that'll be pulled out later. I've got some frozen ramp bulbs that are going to go into the stuffing, and that'll be pulled out later. What else do I have to show you? This is one crazy freezer. Trying to find my, I don't know what oh, here. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of black staining polypore stock that I made, which is really tasty. So this stock is going to go into the gravy and also into the stuffing. I've got a lot of it in the freezer. Actually, what I had done and what I was looking for is I had filled up little cupcake holders with the black staining polypore mushroom stock, and then I froze that, popped them out, and they're in the freezer, probably downstairs, and which is what I'll probably use because I don't want to use this one. But I wanted to show you that my freezer is full of stuff that is all preserved and ready to use. Yes.
Now, you've been going pretty fast. What did you say about the recipes? How can people find out what you're putting in, like to?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, well, I am putting some of the recipes up today in our slideshow, and I also will put all of them into Patreon. So I'm hoping that that will bless you guys that have been supporting me. Thank you so much for being Patreon members. The autumn olive berries are going to go into my cranberry sauce. So let's just go ahead and go to the slideshow, and you'll see me small, but I'll walk our way through it. Oh yeah, go ahead and bring it over.
Okay. So we pull them out after 5 minutes, and then I use
Max is standing right here.
my thumb, and is that about right? A little
Perfect.
there? And
yep.
I'm going to fill that with the jellies. And how much longer are we going to cook it after
8
that?
minutes.
8 minutes. Okay.
And I think I'll move it up to 325 because last time I tried it, it didn't quite work as well. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to show you before I get into our slideshow. This is an acorn sourdough loaf that I made. And I'm going to heat it up in the oven so that it gets a little bit crispy and make it into like cute croutons to use for our stuffing. So the stuffing will be made of the acorn bread, and it will also have in it, see, where did I put those? It will also have in it the chestnuts, which I've had prepared and ready to go, and we'll talk about that when we get there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the slideshow, and we'll work our way through this. All right. Yikes, I can't even see them. We'll go to the next slide. Okay, so Jesus is the reason for the season, and that's why we had all these wonderful inspirational ideas that you all shared. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for sharing. Can you just do them by pressing instead of on a slideshow? Because I need to be able to talk.
You just talk.
Okay, but I'm going to have to talk for a long time on some of them.
Just tell me when you want to go.
Okay. All right. This is The Heavens Declare the Glory of God. This is the Star of Bethlehem documentary that I was sharing with you. And this, if you haven't seen that yet, do it. And it will really bless you as you focus on what was happening in the night sky. The heavens declare the glory of God. And so you can actually see, because of mathematics and because of software, what was happening in the night sky when Christ was born. So check that out and be blessed. Okay, coming up next week, I'll be sharing the healing oils in the life of Jesus Christ, which is one of my favorite talks. And Jason, we forgot to have you share. Should we do that next, or we'll do it after the slideshow? We'll do it after the slideshow. Jason's going to share some things that are really wonderful. So this is just a teaser for next week, and let's go to the next slide. Okay, here's the natural art contest. You can see Maggie Russell did those amazing stags on the left-hand side. And she also made a lot of pine sachets with her Christmas tree. And then Tracy Cabal made a pomanders with oranges and cloves. And Pamela she just oven dried some orange slices and hung them on her tree with a string, and it looks beautiful, and she says it smells wonderful. And Dawn made this beautiful glass nature globe full of berries and lichens and just loveliness, and so it looks sparkly and lovely with the lights on at Christmas. So I thought that was amazing. And then this was cool. Amanda is my cousin's daughter, and so we're related, and she made the cutest wreaths out of that is a coat hanger. So she made a bunch of them, which I didn't put in here, but you can go on Wild Blessings with Holly Drake and see all the ones that she made. It was very, very cute. And that's just so simple. Anyone can do that. Go ahead. Then, okay, these were the ornaments that I made, just some of them. And today I actually put them for our Christmas breakfast on our place, like our place settings, and it looked really colorful and fun. Tracy Terry made a forest angel on the left, and there it has she's got a little basket, which is a chestnut oak acorn lid or cap. And then she also made an owl, which cracks me up. It looks like it's had too much coffee or something. So I love those. You did such a good job, Tracy. I love it. Thank you so much for participating. And then, oh, Megan, she decorated her mantle. Isn't that magnificent? And her dad made this lantern on the left-hand side with old barnwood. But the whole rest of everything else is just free things that she collected in nature. So thank you, Megan. That was beautiful. These I shared from last week, but I think they're just worth sharing again. Just so easy to do. A glue gun is all I needed. And then collecting things from nature, God's handiwork. So when we work with our hands with his handiwork, I just think magic happens. Okay. And then those are the last two. Okay, so here's our menu. So for the appetizer, we'll just keep it here for a minute. We're going to make a poke artichoke dip. So you just basically, well, I'll just read through it real quick. So we'll do the poke artichoke dip, which I was actually going to do during class and then share it at the end of class, but I don't think we'll have time for that. So we'll just skip that, but you'll see pictures of it as Jordan and I do it after class. Then for our main course, we're having the roast chicken with a wild mushroom gravy. And then for the sides, we have, oh gosh, what's the first one?
Jerusalem artichokes.
Jerusalem artichokes. So I'm going to take the Jerusalem artichokes, which they're right there. Anyway, and you'll see them in a few minutes on our slideshow. And we're going to peel off. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, we're making those into mashed potatoes. Then, what's the next one?
Green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole.
With milkweed.
Okay, so the green bean casserole with the milkweed, which I showed you, those are in the freezer. And then what do we have? Hen in the Woods. We're going to make that into like sauteed. And then the stuffing is made with the acorn bread that I already showed you, and also with the chestnuts.
And then relish with autumn olive cranberry.
Okay, so that's going to be the autumn olives in with just a regular cranberry orange relish, and that's delicious and super simple.
And dandelion tiropitas.
Dandelion tiropitas, we actually had those for dinner last night, and those were really tasty. Then for dessert, we've got these cookies that Jordan's making, the thumbprint cookies made with hickory nuts and then with the wild jams. And then our drinks, we didn't get to the drinks. The drinks, well,
Wild grape kefir.
Wild grape kefir, high bush cranberry seltzer, which I don't think I'll do because I don't think they'll like it. And then the last is the hickory nut coffee. Actually, it's made from the bark. Thank you, Suzanne, for teaching me how to do that. I'm just floored at how great the house smells when it's kind of brewing and how delicious it tastes. So thank you. Okay, next one. So this is the autumn olive cranberry orange. Keep there for a minute. So you can see that we foraged for the autumn olives on the left. That's what they look like, Eleaginus umbellata, and they are beautiful. They've got the silver spray on them, and they just are so prolific, and they're actually very invasive, but they're so high in nutrition. They taste kind of like a raspberry cranberry cross. I love them, and they're the best imaginable. This is my dear friend Casey, and she's filling her basket with autumn olives. And then on the right-hand side is just a bowl full of them. And so I love keeping them in the freezer so I can use them all winter long. I use them in smoothies. I use them in cookies. Anytime you would use a cranberry or something, I use them in salads. And today we'll be using them in the cranberry relish. Go ahead and turn to the next one. That is simple. And I'm going to next week have the picture of what it looks like next to the recipe. But all you do is you take an orange and you cut it up and just, even with the rind on, make sure it's organic so it doesn't have pesticides all over it. So you cut this up, throw it into the food processor, throw in the cranberries, throw in maybe a half a cup to a cup of honey, local honey, and then just mix that up until you get it just the right relish size that you want. Then add your cup of autumn olive berries. And you can also, if you'd like, add some black walnuts. So this is what black walnuts look like once you've taken their green outer husk off. And here's the black walnuts from the inside. And they're delicious. So you can add those in, optional, not necessary, but so good. Okay. So the poke artichoke dip, this poke, you want to catch the poke when it's young in the early spring. But actually, I have found it, this picture on the left-hand side was taken in early August. Maybe it was mid-August. I mean, you can find plants at different stages if you just keep your eyes open. But I also know some old timers who will take poke leaves off of a tall plant as long as they're meristematic and they're young and they're growing. Like you wouldn't want to take ones that have red on it or, that have been there for months. So there's always abundance to be found if you have the eyes to see. Then you have to boil it like up to 3 times. And the reason why is there is toxins in this plant that get boiled out. They're water leached. And so you throw out that liquor, the pot liquor. You don't drink that liquor, the pot liquor. You throw it out, fill it up again, boil it again, throw in the poke leaves, and do that up to 3 times to make poke balls. Once you've poured those out and strained them, then you squeeze out the water, and those are the poke balls on the right-hand side. Then you used the next picture. You're going to use a recipe for a spinach artichoke dip and use the poke for a spinach substitute. So that's what we'll be doing today. It has Parmesan cheese, it has sour cream, it has mayonnaise, things like that. And the artichokes. Yeah, a little longer. Oh, I can't wait to try it. Okay, so then the dandelion terreputas. Dandelion comes out in the early spring. It's actually a perennial, so it'll be out literally all year long, but it's really prolific, the flowers in the early spring, and that's when you want to capture the flowers. But the whole plant is edible, and I've done whole classes on poke, whole classes on dandelion, and so I'll put those in the class review if y'all are interested in learning more and diving deep into all of these plants' gifts. So dandelion leaves are super high in nutrition, like way better than kale, or even the highest of any plant is just off the charts. So I love the picture in the middle. That was Betty's door, her magical door with the dandelions in front of it, and Pamela took that picture. And then on the right is just a sample of how you can use the buds, the roots, the crowns. You can make wine out of them. You can make you can even use the stems as like green beans. It's incredible what you can do with this plant. But we just use the leaves. So go to the next one. And so I found a recipe on terreputas, and I just basically added to that well chopped up dandelion leaves, and then just chop them fine. They're very bitter, but bitter is super good for us. Okay, so that was another part of our dinner. Then the roast chicken with the black staining polypore, let's see if I can say this. Can you pronounce it? Maristibulus? Maripolis. Simsteni. I'm just beginning to learn mushrooms. Rachel's going to be teaching. I'm so excited. Rachel Glalkowski is one of our members, and she is an expert in mushroom hunting, and she'll be teaching a class coming up in January on mushrooms. So I'm looking forward to that, Rachel. But I found these black staining polypore, go back to that, and I had so much of it that I made it into quite a bit of stock, quite a bit of powder, quite a bit of the actual plant, which is, these are dried. Let's show you what it looks like. It honestly turns black like that. And I've been using these in, what is it that I make that's so good? Mushu pork. So, so, so good. Okay. And so that'll be in my mushroom gravy. Then the next one. Okay.
Show the recipe and the gravy for the chicken on the left.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And that was just Thanksgiving turkey on the right. Okay, go ahead. So then the mashed Jerusalem artichokes, this is what the flower looks like. They can get up to 12 to 15 feet tall. They're so beautiful. They're in the sunflower family, and their roots or their tubers are amazing, and they're very difficult to digest. And so I recommend fermenting them, which I did a whole class on how to do that. So I'll put that in the class review as well. But here's my dear friend Kaja. She needed to do a school project, and so she said, Holly, let's go foraging. And this was just a couple of weeks ago. And Jerusalem artichokes are out now for the gathering. And so we gathered a ton of them, and she made this amazing soup, and it was delicious. So on the right hand side, you can see that I have fermented them, And the reason why is because that breaks down the inulin, which is hard to break down in our gut. And that's why they're called fartichokes. So, but if you ferment them and then you boil them, go to the next page, Jace. You can boil them and mash them just like you would a regular potato. And they honestly taste just like potatoes. And so then you would just add to that milk and butter, salt and pepper, and season it however you wish. So that'll be our mashed potatoes. Okay. Then the milkweed shoot green bean casserole. This is me back in early spring gathering milkweed shoots. And so you want to catch them when they're still really tender and meristematic. When they get hard, and the reason why they become difficult and hardened is because they need to hold all of the coming flower buds and the coming flowers and the coming flower seed pods. Yes, sir. What? Oh, the cookies?
Yeah, let's don't ruin those.
No. Okay, here they come.
You ready?
Oh, they look amazing. Look at that. I wish you guys could be here to share this with me.
No, I don't, because then there wouldn't be as many for me.
These look so good. I'll let Jordan put it on a cute plate when he comes out. That looks so good. Okay. Okay. So then, let's see, where are we at? Okay, then so you want to get them when they're meristematic. Go back to that picture. Get them when they're young and they're growing, because once they're old, they're there to hold up the plant and the seed pods and the seeds that are this time of year is what you see. So here, this is what they look like this time of year. And these would be pretty to put in the tree as well, I think. So I'm sure that we will do that. We just pulled it out, honey. We were afraid that we didn't know you timed it.
Oh.
Can you put them on this little tray right here with a, there's this will help you get it off. Or the blue one would be prettier. Okay. So then you can boil them into like the casserole or it's just like green beans with butter on top. Or you can make them into pickles, or you can make like a cheese sauce and bake them in a casserole. And tonight, what we're going to do is just do the cream of mushroom soup and the French onion rings on top, which just follow the recipe for the French fried or the green beans, French style green bean casserole. Is that what it is? And that's kind of a traditional thing that Americans usually eat for Christmas. So we're going to do that. Okay. Okay. Then I have Hen in the Woods, which is, where is it? Here it is. So the Hen in the Woods is, I'm new to this. And I found a guy who does mushrooms here in the area, and he sells them retail, like at Earth Fair and stuff. So I actually got these at Earth Fair, but he told me that he would show me how to collect them locally, because I think I would. I tried this last night and it's absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to saute this a little bit in some butter, and then I'm going to add to that a little bit of sherry maybe, or a little bit of Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and it's really good. So I'm excited about that. Okay. Okay, here we are with the chestnut acorn stuffing. So you can see, oh, these are chestnut oaks. The acorns are chestnut oaks. Those are my favorite. And you can see that huge chestnut oak on the left-hand side, and you can see a lot of the nuts that have fallen below it. The interesting thing is it's a white acorn, and the white oak, as soon as they drop in the autumn, they start to germinate and to send down roots out of their seed coat. If it's a red oak, it doesn't do that till the spring. So you have to catch the white oak acorns in the fall if you want to have them viable. If you wait till spring for the red oaks, you will still have acorns that are edible. It just takes more of the leaching process because they have more tannins. So you can see the middle picture there. I have cracked and taken off the seed coat, and then you go through the leaching process. And then there's the bread that I made with the sourdough. That's going to be made for my stuffing. So go ahead. Also in this chestnut acorn stuffing are chestnuts, which is not the same thing as a chestnut oak. And so this is Deanna. She's the one who gave me the fireweed jelly, and she's gathering the chestnuts on the forest floor below the chestnut trees. And that's what they look like in my hand. And then there's my friend Ingrid helping me to score them and then soak them and then you roast them in the oven for a little while till they open up, like chestnuts roasting on an open fire. And then you can peel them off and get the nut out. The way I preserve them is either in a thick syrup or you can freeze them. And so that's what I did, is I froze them, and that'll go into our stuffing as well. So let's see, let's go to the next picture. Okay, so then the hickory nut thumbprint cookies, this is what Jordan just made. Suzanne Shires is in the picture hiding behind the tree on the left. She came for class last week. If you missed her, she was amazing. And her book came out this week. So she said that if you order it today, she'll get it to you by Christmas and she won't charge for shipping or handling. I've got the link in another post on Wild Blessings, but I'll post it here as well. Let's see, what else do we have?
She could get it by Christmas, not. We're Tuesday and Christmas is Saturday, right?
Okay, well, maybe she said that she could do that if we did this on Sunday or something. But if you want to buy it for your family member or for me, well, actually, I went ahead and ordered it. But anyway, if you want to get it, then just put like a coupon that it's coming, because I promise you that your loved one will be so blessed to have this book. Okay, so there you can see the acorn or the hickory nuts are doing the float test, and there's Max helping me to crack them open, and there's Tristan showing all of the meats that he had taken out, which takes a lot of patience, doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to the next page. Next picture. Then here's the different jellies that we used. So we had the poke berry. I did not use beauty berry. What else do we have? The wild grape. I didn't include crab apples either. And then what's the other one?
Blackberry.
Blackberries. Okay, so those are blackberries. And then we'll go to the next picture. Okay, there's just pictures of the wild drinks that we're going to have today. And then, oh, okay, so now I'm going to have Jason come over and share with us a story, which is just so awesome for this time of year or any time of year. So he's going to share that with us, and then Jordan is going to announce who the winners are, and we will sample the thumbprint cookies. So here, honey, I'll give you this chair you can sit on.
Well, if you come over. This time of year, of course, as we focus on Saturday being Christmas Day, we'll be focusing on the birth of Jesus and the celebration of this time of the year. And I wanted to read to you from the Bible's description of this birth event. But instead of reading the story of Jesus' birth, I want to read about the story of the birth of John the Baptist. And John the Baptist was the cousin of Jesus. But there's a lot of very miraculous, would you call it miraculous?
Yeah.
Types of descriptions in this story. So let me read the story to you in Luke and chapter 1, and I'll start with verse 5. In the days of Herod, king of Judea, there was a priest named Zacharias of the division of Abijah, and he had a wife, from the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. They were both righteous in the sight of God, walking blamelessly in all the commandments and requirements of the Lord, but they had no child, because Elizabeth was barren, and they were both advanced in years. Are we advanced in years?
Definitely.
Okay. Now it happened that while he was performing his priestly service before God, in the appointed order of his division, according to the customs of the priestly office, he was chosen by lot to enter the temple of the Lord and burn incense. And the whole multitude of the people were in prayer outside at the hour of the incense offering. And an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing to the right of the altar of incense. Zacharias was troubled when he saw the angel, and fear gripped him. I think that's a pretty natural response, isn't it? But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zacharias, for your petition has been heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you will give him the name John. You will have joy and gladness, and many will rejoice at his birth, for he will be great in the sight of the Lord. And he will drink no wine or liquor, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit while yet in his mother's womb. And he will turn many of the sons of Israel back to the Lord their God. It is he who will go as a forerunner before him in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children, and the disobedient to the attitude of the righteous, so as to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. Zechariah said to the angel, how will I know for this is certain? How do I know this is for certain? For I am an old man, and my wife is advanced in years. The angel answered and said to him, I am Gabriel, who stands in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to bring you this good news. And behold, you shall be silent and unable to speak until the day when these things take place, because you did not believe my words, which will be fulfilled in their proper time. The people were waiting for Zacharias and were wondering at his delay in the temple. But when he came out, he was unable to speak to them. And they realized that he had seen a vision in the temple, and he kept making signs to them and remained mute. When the days of his priestly service were ended, he went back home. After these days, Elizabeth, his wife, became pregnant. And she kept herself in seclusion for 5 months, saying, this is the way the Lord has dealt with me in the days when he looked with favor upon me, to take away my disgrace among men. Let me skip a few of the verses to go forward.
Although you need to read the rest of the
Yes,
story.
pull out the book of Luke and read this first. In fact, read the first several chapters, first 2 chapters that tell this story in a complete way. Now, the time had come for Elizabeth to give birth, and she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and her relatives heard that the Lord had displayed his great mercy toward her, and they were rejoicing with her. And it happened that on the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child, and they were going to call him Zacharias after his father. But his mother answered and said, no, indeed, but he shall be called John. And they said to her, there is no one among your relatives who is called by that name. And they made signs to his father. Don't forget, he still could not speak. Okay? As declared by the angel Gabriel. They made signs to his father as to what he wanted him called. And he asked for a tablet and wrote as follows, his name is John. And they were all astonished. And at once his mouth was opened and his tongue loosed, and he began to speak in praise of God. Fear came on all those living around them, and all these matters were being talked about in all the hill country of Judea. All who heard them kept them in mind, saying, when then will this child turn out to be? What then will this child turn out to be? For the hand of the Lord was certainly on him. And then Zacharias offers a prophecy and a prayer in this form. And
this is the first time he's spoken in 9 months.
That's true. Okay. And his father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Spirit and prophesied, saying, blessed be the Lord, God of Israel, for he has visited us and accomplished redemption for his people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of David his servant, as he spoke by the mouth of the holy prophets from of old, salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy toward our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to Abraham our father, to grant us that we, being rescued from the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. And you, child, will be called the prophet of the Most High, and you will go on before the Lord to prepare his ways, to give his people the knowledge of salvation by the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, with which the sunrise from on high will visit us, to shine upon those who sit in darkness and the shadow of death, to guide our feet in the way of peace. And the child continued to grow and to become strong in spirit, and he lived in the deserts until the day of his public appearance to Israel. I thought when we discussed this passage, we were talking about how this man, Zacharias, and his wife Elizabeth demonstrate what it looks like when you're trusting God, what it looks like when you can't see the end, what it looks like when something different or strange or even frustrating happens to you. And trusting God, like Zacharias did, means that you're trusting in the one who knows you, who knows all these details, who knows all that you need, and who knows what his plan is for you, for the people that would see and know this, those relatives, those friends and neighbors, those people who were involved in the temple ministry. All of them saw this. They saw what happened, and that was a testimony to them what it means to trust God.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the Lord was working in his heart. He didn't have to make him mute, but during those 9 months, I'm sure he went really deep in his relationship with God.
Yeah.
And God's always after the heart. He's after each one. He's always multitasking and going after Mary and Elizabeth. And it's just such an incredible, it's a love story. And so his agenda was he wanted John the Baptist to be born, but he didn't have to do all of these unusual things that were touching the hearts of each person along the way. He did that because he loves each person along the way, including us.
Well, it's also a lot about prophecy, as you heard referred to in Zacharias' statement, his prayer, his praise to God, and that his son, John, we know John the Baptist, some the baptizer, John the Baptizer. John was the fulfillment of prophecy. And so next week, I want to make sure you join us again, because next week, Holly is going to be talking about oils in the life of Jesus, and we're going to be talking a lot about the prophecies in Scripture that foretold the coming of the Messiah,
right,
and pointed very directly to what had happened. And you made an interesting comment this morning. One of the prophecies that you will be looking at occurred through Daniel. I believe 700 years before this happened, if I'm not mistaken. And the same angel, Gabriel, told Daniel a prophecy about Jesus.
About the coming Messiah.
The coming Messiah. Well, of course, that's what we believe Jesus fulfilled. So don't miss next week. Come in and you'll listen and you'll hear, and join us next week for that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that Gabriel got to give the prophecy to Daniel, and then also to John, and also to Mary. And that's really an honor. It's amazing. Okay. Jordan, you want to come tell the contest winners? Okay. So we've got these cookies, Jace. You want to come over here and try them?
I'm going to let Jordan try them first, since he was the cook.
He was the cook. And I never did actually make the hickory nut. I left it out on the porch, so we don't have any hickory nut brew, but we'll have it with our dessert tonight.
Copy that.
So, all right. You want to try it?
I do. All right. So what were these flavors again? Let's see. This one's blackberry. I think this is a slam dunk. We gotta try that.
Did you do 2 blackberries?
I did 2 blackberries, 2 speed jellies. What are they called? Fireweeds.
Speed jellies.
Grape, and then there's a hole in the cookie, so the poke drained out.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a bathtub. It's a jam bathtub.
Jam tub.
May
I? I'll try the
No, you want a nice hit of jelly.
Okay.
Try the fireweed.
Is that the
Deanna, thank you for sharing with me. So we're going to be making a lot of these because you're taking them to the Browns. So.
Hey, Browns, Arizona. They're coming.
Yeah, we'll probably do all blackberry for you guys.
Oh.
All right, what do you think? That good?
Very good.
Too bad we don't have hickory bark brew to wash it down. But okay, that's exciting. All right, so the contest winners. Oh my gosh, this dog is so spoiled.
I don't think so.
What do you think? Do you like it?
Yeah, he's rendering.
He's got his paw on my shoulder. Okay, Jordan, tell that we have 2 contests. One was for nature art, and then the other one is for Christmas inspiration.
Okay, we'll start with the nature art winner. The nature art winner is Pamela Torres.
Woo! Yay!
Okay.
Good on you, Pamela. Nicely done.
I'm giving you some autumn olive berries.
And is this the inspirational art winner there?
Yes.
Do I have a
Yeah,
last
read
name?
that first. Oh, Amy.
Is this what I read?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. This is her.
Yeah, she's a mom, a homeschool mom. She's got 3 boys. 2 are twins, Eli and Gideon and Benjamin, and they all had amazing things that they shared. So if you want to get inspired, go to the contest and read what everybody posted.
That said, she won the inspirational award.
Yay, Amy.
Nicely done, Amy. And she writes, we love Linus's recitation of Luke 2 in A Charlie Brown Christmas in the animated movie The Star. Also, the 2018 version of The Grinch also reads as a framework for the narrative of the good news of Christmas, how Jesus came to offer forgiveness and redemption and a place in God's family, replacing the burden of darkness and loneliness, with rapturous delight. So lots more on Facebook to go see that she posted.
Yes, Amy, I'm so happy that you won. I can't wait to give you
More
your
inspiration
gifts.
to be found. Now, this is random drawing, or this was...
No, I have a last generator you'll ever need. Last computer.
You generate a random number and then
it's a raffle generator on the computer, and I just type in every name that did it. So it wasn't like Pamela's was the best. It was just the computer picked Pamela and also picked Amy.
Pamela and Amy, congratulations to you both.
Yeah, and then
may the pokeberry jelly, the autumn oliveberry jelly, give you a long and happy life.
Okay, tell them about this. Yesterday we found this. This is a baby.
I don't remember.
It's a pine. It's a white pine.
It's a pine.
And so I'm planting a pine tree or a fir tree for each of my boys. And so this will be Jordan's. And so while he's here, he's going to plant this little pine tree. So I'm excited about that. And I have one more thing to share, and then I got to go. Okay, let's see.
We're getting the cut signal.
Can you hand me that jar over there without stepping on the barberries? Yeah. Okay. I just have to share this because this is so stinking cool. All right. All right, guys, you like pistachio nuts, right, Jordan? Sure. Pistachio nuts. This is a witch hazel, and I decided, it's been on my bucket list to watch them explode, because they can explode and send the seeds 40 meters away, which is remarkable. And so these were just little spidery yellow flowers just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm watching them turn into seed pods. And then I'm hoping they'll spew their seeds right here in my kitchen, because, Jordan, the seeds taste like pistachio nuts. Really? Yes, they do. Or so I hear. I don't know. I've never tried it. So it's really kind of fun. I honestly thought that once I cut them that they would not continue to evolve. But it's crazy how nature has such a desire to reproduce. So I don't know, maybe it'll happen. If not, one of these days, I hope I can be out there when they're exploding and capture them in the wild. So I just had to share that. I hope that this has been a blessing to you. Merry Christmas. And I look forward to sharing with you the pictures from our dinner and our tree completed next week. So is there anything I missed, Jace?
Just Patreon. Tell me about it.
Wait, if you like this, then like it and subscribe. And also you can join my Facebook group, which is really interactive and so much fun. There's almost 500 of us now, which is thrilling. And so share with the friends if you think it would bless them. And then also, if you want to help support me on Patreon, I would be really grateful. Merry Christmas, everyone.